Okay, so hey guys, I am so super excited to do this training with you. Why? Because this is the reason why most people, gurus, experts, big name people probably will not like me per se. Some will, some won't, because I'm teaching you ways to network your way to success with what you already have. I'm not trying to sell you a new program. I'm not trying to sell you a funnel system. I'm not trying to sell you how to do Facebook ads or any of these other things that people are selling you on. But I'm just here to show you how to network your way to success with three of the things that you already have or easily have access to. Now, these three things are things that, again, you've worked really hard on, or things that you may not have worked really hard on. You just kind of have it, and that's all right. But I'm going to show you how you can use these things to really network and expand. My name is Alcides Pelzer. I'm the voice coach, empowerment speaker, and founder of the World Voice League, a community of female entrepreneurs and speakers coming together to impact social change. Now, networking has been how I've been able to move from being homeless to being not homeless, from working a full-time job, living paycheck to paycheck, to being able to work for myself full-time and be able to enjoy some things in life. For instance, sending my youngest daughter to Greece, having the time of my life, being able to be at field hockey games for my oldest daughter and things of that nature, and even looking forward to sending my son to college this year. Why are these things so significant for me? These things were the things that I had on my vision board way back in 2015, 2014, 2013. These were the things that I dreamed about. These were the things that I wished I could be able to do. But there was no way, shape, or form in sight of me being able to do them. And so I went down that rabbit hole of living paycheck to paycheck and falling behind in bills and taking out loans and being in debt and all these different things. And it was stressful. It was painful. And I needed something to change. In 2015, I had a conversation with my oldest daughter about trust. And, you know, I kind of blurted it out about me being molested as a child. It was the first time I had ever told anyone in my 35 years. Well, less than that, because it didn't happen when I was that young, but you understand. No one else knew. But there was a moment in having just that simple conversation where it was a release for me and it was a comfort for my daughter. Later on, when I asked her what was her most proud moment of me, was, after the book publishing and speaking and traveling, and I would think that it would be one of those things, right? Nope. It was that conversation. Conversations create everything. And when we learn to get back to those conversations, we stop trying to find the 5-second, 2-second, 10-second thing that's going to make it happen now. Instead, we go back and we start having conversations that are going to put us in a room or connect us to some people that we never even dreamed of being connected to. So when I think about networking, nearly 100% of people say face-to-face meetings are essential for long-term business relationships. One of the things that we see when it came to this big boom online is that there was a huge boom in coaching. Coaching. Everybody became a coach. Even those who were in the professional field, meaning those who were psychiatrists and therapists, they came into the coaching field as well. So it's kind of like this huge influx of people. But the coaching online started to replace face-to-face meetings. And here is where we started seeing this huge dip, because people were so excited about seeing people online that they weren't really having that same level of connection with people. But here it is. Nearly 100% of people say face-to-face meetings are essential for long-term business relationships. What we found is that all the people that were connecting online, it was great, but we did not see any longevity in their relationships. Many only had those clients for about 6 months, and very few had them for a few years. In order for you to get to the point where you have that longevity, you have to have real conversations with people and start meeting people face to face. So for every dollar companies invest in travel, they receive $12.50 in value. Look at that return, guys. Look at that return. So that means that when you're traveling to go to events, you're traveling to go to meetings, you're traveling to go and communicate and talk to people, that's an investment that you're making. And that investment is going to give you an ROI, but only if you know how to network the right way. So for every dollar, I'm getting $12.50 back. So every time you go to a live event, you're going to get something in return. Every time you show up at a networking event or a meeting, you're going to get something in return. And that also puts you in a position to say, if I'm not getting something in return, then why am I going? We have to have that question. We have to have that conversation with ourselves. If I'm not getting any return on this investment, why am I going? I found myself going to events where I wasn't getting a return on the investment. It was not something that was moving my vision forward or moving my business forward. And so I had to say no to events. I had to say no to some opportunities and walk away from people because there was no return, or the return was not worth the investment that was being put in. Then we have to understand as well, the close rate for in-person meetings are 40%. There's a reason why people used to do Tupperware parties and Avon parties. Home parties are where it's at. Why? Because there's a 40% return rate, conversion rate. So what does that mean? That means when you look at how you're showing up online and look at your conversion rate, what's your conversion rate for how much time you're showing up? And then compare that to 40%. If you get into a room of 10 people and those 4 people spend $20 a piece with you, that's a win. But are you getting into a room virtually with people and pulling in that same amount? Most are not. Now, I don't know about you, but I've heard that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing, looking for a different result. A lot of times we're kind of bumping our head against the wall, thinking that everybody's saying social media is the way to go. Social media is it. But here's the thing, guys. That's only part of the marketing pie. It's only a piece, and it's not even a full piece. It's like a small little sliver that they give to the kids on Thanksgiving in order for the adults to have bigger slices. Guys, you can have a bigger slice, but you have to be willing to do the work. So now I always tell people it matters when you show up. Showing up is the key element here. Showing up, and you should tell people who you are, who you serve, and how you serve. Now, some people are like, well, I don't know who I am, or I don't know who I serve, or how exactly am I serving people? This is something that you have to determine. This is why coaching is important. This is why, taking time out to do brain dumps are important. This is why having that support system matters, because you get to learn who you are so you can show up as your greatest self. I found that there are many people who are showing up as somebody else because they want to show up as somebody else in order to get the same result that that person had. Guys, that's not how this works. When you show up as your authentic self, people resonate with your story. They resonate with who you are. And that makes them want to buy, that makes them want to show up, that makes them want to invest, that makes them want to share. See, we're talking about, wanting to show up and have people buy 1 item from us or 2 items from us. I'm talking about having a lifetime commitment with someone, or at least more than just one purchase. We're talking about building community. We're talking about building a foundation that will take you to a whole nother level. That part is so very valuable for you. So I'm always teaching my clients who you are, who you serve, how you serve. That is the way that you show up each and every time. And you don't believe me? I'm an introvert. Now, people look at me and they say, no, you're not an introvert. No, I really am. I learned how to show up and show people who I am, who I serve, how I serve. People still know me as an introvert because guess what? I take time for me. I'm always reading. They know I love my quiet time. That's how I regenerate and rejuvenate and everything else. Normally when I do a live event, I spend some time by the pool by myself or in my room alone. Why? Because that's me. But in 2017, I chose to show up in a whole other way. I chose to choose something that was unique to me, that allowed me to be seen in the room. Now, I'm not trying to be a clown, so I didn't want to come in doing something that was not comfortable for me. But there are some things that really resonate with me. So music, pretty much almost all types of music. Food, I'm a foodie. Yes, yes, yes. That's probably where these other 40 pounds came from. And so showing up with music, food, and talking about the arts. I love talking about the arts. Art, anything in that realm. Pictures, beautiful scenery. I wasn't really a huge outdoors person, but I'm doing a whole lot better now. So with that being said, this brings me to where I am right now. Guess what? Here we are, guys. I showed up to an event where there were 200 plus people in the room, and I was an attendee. I wasn't even showing up as like a speaker. I was an attendee. So that means I was amongst 200 people in the audience. That part. So I'm in the room with 200, and I said, you know what? Little Miss Introvert, Little Miss Unicorn, you are going to show up. Why? Because somebody somewhere here needs you, or they want to talk to you, and we're going to make it happen. I show up in the room, and boom, what's playing? Music. So I go up to the front of the room. They're dancing. I have my camera on, and I'm dancing. I'm on the floor, though. I'm not on the stage. They're on the stage dancing. But I'm dancing, and I'm having fun. And I turn around because I flip my camera so I could be in the shot. And, ooh, I see all these eyes looking at me from the back of the room. And so I'm still dancing and I'm looking at my camera so that way I don't get too nervous and freak out. And they call me and they're like, come on up on the stage, come on up on the stage. So I get on stage, I dance, then we get started with the meeting. This is at the beginning. We get started with the meeting. I sit down in the back of the room where you'll find most of the introverts. I go and I sit down and, we have the first couple sessions. We go to lunch, we come back. What happens after we come back from lunch? Well, lo and behold, the organizer of the event calls me by name to come back up and dance as people are coming back into the room from lunch. What? And not only did they put me in a prime position to be called up by the organizer and the organizer to learn my name, but I also was putting myself in a position to where I could go and show up, right? Authentically me, the dancer, but I also got the opportunity to be a guest on his podcast. Yes. The person I'm talking about is Steve Olsher, and his podcast is Reinvention Radio. He's one of the top podcasters that is out there, and even has his own podcasting event that he does every year, which is what I was at. It's called New Media Summit. Show up. When you learn to show up and stop trying to show up as someone else, show up as you, you have fun doing it, you meet people, and then people are drawn to your story. They're drawn to who you are, as opposed to being drawn to someone that you know nothing about. So now, the three major mistakes that I always see in networking are people are always selling over serving. They're trying to sell to strangers without building that know, like, and trust factor. And then they're thriving off of impulse buyers and not trying to create customers, a customer base. A customer base you want to have is one where you have repeat customers, return customers, people who are going and sharing your products out and talking to other people about it. When you're building that type of community, that's when your business thrives. But when you're thriving off of impulse buyers, it's a revolving door. They're in and out. And you're always looking for ways to try to get the next set of customers in. You're always trying to look for ways to get the next set of people in the door. That's not how you want to be running your business, because that puts you in overdrive because you're always marketing. And you shouldn't have to be. There should be some time where you should be able to take time for you and go back and sit down, and there should be some time where you can spend time with family and enjoy. You shouldn't have to market 24 hours a day and not be able to enjoy this journey. That's the other piece, is people are missing out on the journey. When it comes to networking your way to success, Oprah enjoys her life. Beyonce's enjoying her life. Jay-Z's enjoying his life. But they market. They still have things they do. They still do tours. They still do shows. They still speak. They still do all these other things. But they've put it in such a way that they've built a following. And it came through serving. Oprah did not show up on her first show and tell people to buy a book from her. Didn't. Beyonce started her journey, I think, at the age of 14. When she started, she wasn't telling people buy her CD. She was showing up wherever she could so people knew her name. She was being put in select places to strengthen her craft. See, we show up with the idea that people should know us already, or that people should want to get to know us. Show up with a heart of service. I showed up to events and volunteered at events, and I co-hosted and hosted events. I showed up authentically me. I showed up and volunteered, not to be seen. I showed up behind the scenes. It gave me so much power because I was able to learn behind the scenes, and I was able to grow until I was able to get to the point where I could invest in what I needed to invest in. Showing up. The selling happens. People want to buy stuff from you. People will want to buy stuff from you, but we got to serve first. Again, people buy from who they know, like, and trust. If you're not serving, people don't get to know, like, and trust you. Even when we're showing up online, people are just posting links and flyers for stuff. Guys, people don't know, like, and trust you because you haven't served them anything. You haven't showed them who you are, who you serve, and how you serve. And so we get into this funk because nobody wants to click on our stuff or share out our stuff. Nobody wants to buy our products. We're not selling a product. We're selling an answer, a solution. But people don't realize that you care enough to give them the answer or solution, so they're not even showing up for you. So here it is. This special training that I wanted to do for you guys was with some things that you already have or have access to. And many people are like, oh, well, I can't network because I don't have 5,000 business cards. I can't network. I don't have enough time. No. See, you're thinking about networking as an event. I'm thinking of networking as a conversation. I need you to make sure you take that down as a note somewhere, somehow. When you show up and network, networking is a conversation, not an event. It's a conversation. So when I look at networking as a conversation, I can network anywhere. I can network at a supermarket. I can network at a children's game. I can network anywhere. I don't have to necessarily be at an event to network. But here's how you network with some of the things you already have. So first of all, books. The way that you network when it comes to your books. So some of you are already authors, some of you are new authors, some of you are like, I wish I was an author. It's okay, I understand. But if you have a book or even an idea for a book, a way for you to network is by first knowing where's your target audience, how your target audience wants to connect with you, what it is that you have that they want, who they are, and when you can connect. You also want to make sure that you know you have enough time to make those connections on a consistent basis. Now, I'll go a little deeper into this. When it comes to your book is a resource. I get it. People are like, no, you publish books to make money. If you look at the successful people that are out there and that have books, yes, they make some money off of it. They may do some book sales, but can I tell you that they give a whole lot more books away than they sell possibly? They do. They give away books to organizations. They give away books for programs. They do a whole lot more giving than you would think. Now, there's people out there telling you that, you know, you should always get paid and that's the only way you should do it. That's fine if you're not looking to make an impact in lives. That's just it. When I made that clear distinction in my business and my brand that I wanted to make an impact in the lives of people, then the money is important, yes, but it's not the most important thing. See why people don't really like me? I go against the norm. So as your book, making money is great, yes. But are there other ways that you could be using that book? Could you be doing a training with that book information? The information for that book, could you go to a local school and do a training? Could you go to a local library and do a training? That where your target audience hangs out? Is that somewhere they would like to be? I know today's event is going to be connected with one of our local libraries in Chesapeake City. And there's going to be people that are probably going to say, oh, well, she should have did an event at a hotel and she should have did. I don't do what everybody else does. I build community partnerships. And when you build community partnerships, that stands out a whole lot more as opposed to you doing just trying to sell. So today's meeting that I'm going to be doing later on is our tour. And we've connected with small businesses. We've connected with coffee shops that had space and did networking events there. In so many different ways, especially with the first year, we connected with a couple different libraries. You can do an event, a meetup there at a library, connect with your local library, connect and see what they're doing. Sometimes they may even be following you online if you make the connection. That's significant. But not just that. And so I did a training a few weeks ago where I was telling people, hey, there are boutiques, there are businesses right in your own backyard, diamonds in your own backyard that want to connect with you. You may be able to have your book at their register, which we know is a prime spot when it comes to sales. They may have you come and do a table in front of their establishment. They may say, hey, we close early on a certain day. You can come and do a meetup here. I have a couple local places that I'm going to be reaching out to do some things like that, where it's going to be mutual benefit. It's a mutual benefit. They're going to have people coming in and learning about their establishment as well as doing the event there. That's how community partnerships work. And you can do it all through your book because your book has however many chapters and you could be training on those chapters. See, we're going back and having this discussion because guess what? When I learned that I want to go further, I want to go bigger, I want to go bolder, I make the conversation happen. So you could be doing trainings from your books. You could be connecting with local businesses to sell your books or to maybe do a training at there or do a book reading. People always think of bookstores when it comes to book readings and meet the authors. Do a meet the author at a boutique. Connect that way. Do a meet the author at a local restaurant and celebrate that restaurant. Listen, this is how you network for success. And for those of you that are saying, I don't have a book just yet, by all means, I understand. I have a training, I think, in my digital store. I forgot how much I priced it, but I'll send you guys the link so that way you can get access if you're trying to figure out how you can write your first book, that part. But if you already have one, let's get to it. Now, blogs. Blogs are still a thing, guys. Yes, and it's a great way for you to network your way to success. You have content. Bloggers are always looking for content. Engagement. A great way for you to connect with a blogger is by sharing their stuff out. I have people from all over the world that share out and come and connect with my blog. I think the top place right now is India that connects with my blog. Go connect, share it out, have a discussion, go and comment, support that blogger. You never know how that communication and that connection will take you to another level. So it may be you're a mom, write an article about being a mom, an entrepreneur, or a mom and something that happened. Find a mom blogger and say, hey, I wrote this blog about, my journey as a mom, and I would love to share it with your audience if you allow for guest bloggers. They're always looking again for content. So this is a great way for you to get in. Then once you do the blog, you share that blog out on all social media platforms to your email list. You share that blog out to everybody you can share it out to. You talk about that blog. You go live and talk about it. You share it out on Pinterest. You share everywhere. That is how we build partnerships. You never know. You may go back and she may say, I loved your blog and I love the engagement on your blog. How about I have you come and do a guest blog post once a month? Again, it can be somebody who's already doing blogging and having 100,000 views, but it's just more content and it gives them a different view. So now they have a day each month that they don't have to worry about doing a blog. If they're doing a blog every week, once a week, then now they only have to do 3 blogs a month. You see how that works? And you can always repurpose that content for something else and share it out as well. The reason why I share this is because within our free community, we're always giving you opportunities. If you're an author, we have a blog called the Our Voice Matters blog, and we're always looking for people who would love to be able to be a co-author on a blog post or who would love to have their information shared out. I know we're about to do another blog post where we hit on a bunch of the new authors who are out there and share their links and information with you. Why? Because that's what we do as bloggers. We share information and then they come on, see that blog and share it out across their social media because they're like, hey, look at this article I was in. We have to have an understanding that we're setting up win-wins. That puts you in a place of being connected to someone that you previously weren't connected to. And for some of you, you may say, but I'm not, my target isn't moms per se. My target may be men. My target may be small business owners or those in a relationship or those who are married. Well, then you find somebody that works for you who's already blogging and make that connection. Find somebody that works for you, whatever audience that you want to connect with, and connect with that blogger. I'm telling you, if you send them a message and say, hey, I would love to do a guest blog on your blog post, they're either going to say yes or no. That part. So blogs are a great way for you to get that information out there so that way you can network for success. And then social media. Now, social media is always an interesting one because people have gotten into this whole tagging thing, and they don't really know how it works. They're kind of trying to figure out life. But social media is a great way for you to network your way to success. Why? It is an audience that is stable in one place because they're already following you. You should always be building your audience, but that's a whole other training. And it's a way for you to communicate with a large number of people at once. Don't believe me? Look at the picture that you see on your screen right now. You probably saw this shirt and this person on Common's Instagram page, Facebook page, and Twitter. Yes, the introvert was on Common's page and is still on Common's page. Why is that? I showed up authentically me. I love Common. I was at his book signing in DC, and when I found out he was going to be in Philly, I made plans to go to his book signing in Philadelphia. The shirt that you see right now is one from his line, his Let Love clothing line, where he has t-shirts, and I bought it when we were in DC. So when we went to Philadelphia, I wore it to the book signing. Now, there were a bunch of complications at the event, but I am authentically me. Hashtag keep that same energy. That is me. I am Miss Hashtag keep that same energy. And so I'm always excited. And so the face that you see right now is after we were told that everybody would not be able to get a picture with Common, that everybody would not be able to meet Common or get their book signed because they had run out of time. They had like more people than what they had thought, and they were trying to figure out ways to go and kind of get everybody organized, and it just did not work for them. But I was excited, so I didn't care. I already had a signed book. I already had my t-shirt. So I went out front, and this is right across the street from where the signing is happening, and I'm taking pictures in my shirt because that's just me. Now, why was it significant though? Maybe about a few feet away, Common's team was sitting in their truck. And so as we were walking by the truck, they rolled down the window and said, where'd you get your shirt? Well, I got my shirt in DC, and we started telling them about the whole process. Well, we ended up being on camera. We ended up not just being on camera, but the video being posted all across his social media and it being shared out. Not just it being shared out and all across social media, but on top of that, man, people were in the comments going in. Oh my goodness, I know her, and I got to talk to her in the line while we were waiting, and they were really sweet, and talk about me and my sister, and they were really sweet, and I got to meet them and talk to them. So we didn't get to meet Common, but because I am somebody who shows up authentically me, we were on Common's page, all his social media pages. My sister got a free shirt, a shirt that Common had on, and we just had fun. We didn't even get to see him that time, guys. Like, we saw him, but we didn't get to stand next to him and take pictures. But this is the thing. Look at where the opportunities open up. Because you never know what it's going to lead to. Social media is a really big thing. And that particular video, I think on his Instagram alone, had about over 300,000 views. So people are still messaging me and saying, I saw you over on Rashid's page. I saw you over on Common's Instagram. I saw you on the Facebook page. I saw you on the Twitter. Like, people are still messaging me. And here we are weeks later, months, almost like a month later. Social media is a great tool for networking, but only if you do it right. Stop thinking that you have to fall into these gimmicks and you have to do what you see everybody else do. Do you. Build engagement, be authentic, show up and be consistent, communicate with people. Tagging people in a post is not communicating with people. It's not. Sending out your link to a million different people, or just, sending out a flyer, that's not communicating with people. Build a story. I love storytelling. That's me. As a writer, that's just me, authentic. I love storytelling. Be a storyteller. Put yourself in a position to where you can go and tell your story in different ways, through pictures, through art. However, find your best means of communication and then act on that. And then showing support. Sharing out people's social media stuff and their pictures, or sharing out a video, that's showing support. Going and having a thoughtful comment when you go and comment on somebody's stuff, that's showing support. I've been able to show support for people over the last 3 to 4 years that are still connected to me, that are still following me, that are still showing up. And it's because I was showing authentic support. I wasn't trying to be seen. And many times I'll send them support in their inbox and you won't even know who I'm supporting and connecting with. You'll see some, but you won't see all. But we support each other in so many huge ways that it's amazing. I have people that send me podcast interviewees. I have people that send me opportunities. One of the people sent me an opportunity and I'll be speaking at an event in London. But it's only when you make the proper connections. Use social media as a tool, as a resource. It's not your main objective, but it's a resource. Show up, communicate, engage, support. That's what's necessary. And then, so what's needed from you is action and consistency. I find so many times people go and they get started, they get revved up, they'll take a class, they'll take the information, and they may do 1 or 2 things and then they fall short. Having the right accountability matters. It matters, it matters, it matters. And so I wasn't going to give this link, but I am going to give it because I think that sometimes we feel as though we need to be, in this class and that class. And sometimes we just need to sit down and look at what we already have and take what we already have to the next level. So if you go to bit.ly/, which link do I want to give you? World Voice member. bit.ly/World Voice member. You can join the membership. It is $37 a month. It puts you in a place and a position of where you'll be able to connect with the target audience, have your voice heard, but also get the accountability that you need. That's necessary. That part is so super necessary. People miss out on that part consistently because they're trying to live up to some hype. No, get back to getting the accountability that you need so that way you can move towards success. You also, again, being a part of a community allows you to be able to get some huge yeses because you're networking right within that community. So action, consistency, that's what's on your to-do list. And then, of course, if you would like to talk to me, I would love to talk to you. bit.ly/talk to Altavice. You can get on my calendar and let's connect. Or you can connect with me on Instagram or Facebook at World Voice League. Now, if you are on Facebook, I would love for you to come and give us a review over on the Facebook page. If you go to World Voice League on Facebook, the business page, we would love to hear how this particular training helped you, moved you forward, or maybe it didn't move you forward and you want to have us add some things. Let us know over there by going to facebook.com/World Voice League. I appreciate you guys, and until next time, don't forget to press it out. See ya.